Dear audience, the topic which we will discuss today is drought and famine will endanger the world. There is a serious crisis which the world is facing today. According to World Meteorological Organization report, more than half of the world is vulnerable to drought. And there's a prediction that 1 out of 4 children will face starvation. So it's an issue which needs to be discussed, which needs to be pondered on, which needs to be contemplated, that what will happen to the world if more than half of its area is under drought, particularly in Africa. Africa is the most vulnerable continent because of drought and famine. And these two realities must not be ignored. As far as Pakistan is concerned, the threat of drought looms large because of the scarcity of rainwater, because of the fact that there is a serious problem which Pakistan is facing in terms of water. The Mangla Dam and Tarbila Dam have almost depleted. Now, the monsoon rains have commenced, and as a result of monsoon rain or pre-monsoon rain, one can expect that the water level in Mangla Dam, Tarbila Dam, and in other water reservoirs will improve. But this is not the solution. The problem is basically that after 2 months of monsoon, again there'll be an issue for the crops, water to be provided as far as the crops are concerned, Kharif crops and Rabi crops. So drought is a reality. And look at the Thar region of Pakistan, look at Cholistan, look at Balochistan, look at parts of Sindh, look at parts of southern Punjab. These are all vulnerable as far as drought is concerned. Now, there are two major methodologies, or there are two steps which must be taken in order to cope with the rising threat of drought and famine in Pakistan. We have talked about the world, that half of the world is vulnerable to drought and famine, but in Pakistan it has become a serious matter. Climate change, global warming, and certainly the melting of glaciers, these are the issues which one cannot deny. So the first measure is primarily the planning which needs to be done to conserve water. The water reservoirs must be protected. The flow of water from upstream to downstream, that is downstream is the Kotri barrage, needs to be well looked after, and it's the responsibility of Indus River System Authority, IRSA, Indus River System Authority, that how the Indus River System Authority, which ensures the supply of water to the provinces of Punjab, particularly the province of Punjab and Sindh and Balochistan, must take into account as far as the scarcity of water is concerned. Because the more there will be the shortage of water, the more there will be meager rainfall, the more there will be a threat of drought. And drought is something which is a reality. And as a result, we heard reports that in Cholistan and in Thar regions of Pakistan, several people died because of, and the animals also. The second thing which needs to be done is basically to carry out studies that how other countries have done with the issue of drought and famine and the scarcity of water. One can basically be hopeful that according to the Pakistan's meteorological department, there will be above level of monsoon rainfall. But then this is something which is not a permanent solution. Pakistan needs a policy, a water policy, and that water policy must take into account the fact that how to deal with the melting of the melting of glaciers. That glaciers are melting, and the prediction is basically that because of the melting of glaciers, there will be substantial water, there will be floods, but then there will be no water, and this has to do with climate change. So this is something which the water policy of Pakistan must take into account. All the stakeholders should be on board in order to formulate a pragmatic water policy which should make sure that there is enough water available for crops. There is enough water available in the canal system of Pakistan, which is the world's biggest canal system. Why is it so that after the monsoon rains, like for example in November and December, the water level in Karbela and Mangla Dam, these two dams and other water reservoirs shrink, deplete, and then during summer time also there is this issue of the shortage of water. So there has to be a permanent solution. Pakistan and India, these are the two countries which share river. According to the Indus Water Treaty of 1960, mediated by the World Bank, 3 rivers were given to Pakistan: Jhelum, Chenab and Indus. 3 rivers were given to India: Beas, Ravi and Sutlej. So India has violated the Indus Water Treaty and has been accused by Pakistan of constructing dams and barrages. Now, there's another problem as far as the water thing is concerned. It's not only with India, it's also with Afghanistan. That Afghanistan is constructing dams on the Kabul River. So this is something, a two-pronged threat which Pakistan is facing from the Indian side, from the Afghanistan side. And Pakistan is a country of 220 million people. And if the menace of drought is not addressed, if the scarcity of water is not managed, then certainly the day is not far when there will be ground zero. And ground zero basically means there will be no water. And Karachi is a major example that a mega city of Pakistan and the world, that the citizens of Karachi spend every year 22 billion rupees to purchase water from tankers. So there's a tanker mafia. And water is not available in many localities as far as Karachi is concerned. So Karachi is a test case, mega city of around 30 million people cannot be just left the mercy of tankers. And the K4 Karachi 4 bulk water supply project has still not been completed. It was launched during Musharraf's time, and then we heard that the vested interest groups, the mafia, they tried to divert the direction of the route of the K4. The cost has gone up of K4. So therefore, Karachi is a major test case as far as water is concerned, as far as Sindh, Cholistan, Tharparkar, these regions, southern Punjab and Balochistan test case as a drought is concerned. So I think the time has come to formulate a very pragmatic and clear water policy which should address the issues of looming drought and scarcity of water as far as Pakistan is concerned. Thank you very much.